Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. It is a brand new week. We're in the second week of the second half of the year. I'm super excited. I love coming on these calls every Monday because I feel like it's a great start to the week. And what I have for you guys today, I went over it again this morning, and it's a really great chapter. It's extremely long, but it's really, really great. Now, before we get started, I'm going to ask you guys a question. How many of you guys have ever organized a event or a party or a meetup or just you and your friends going to the movie or whatever the case? How many of you have organized an event? Drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever done something like that. Or even organized a coffee date or a race with your friends, whatever the case, organized anything. Okay, we got a couple people. I know all of you have organized one thing in some kind of way, whether it's a cleanup or a party, whatever the case. But what we're going to talk about today is called organized planning. That is chapter 7 in Think and Grow Rich. This chapter is really, really long. However, within this chapter, there are so many gems that I got from it. Well, now, when I first started this, I thought, okay, Napoleon's going to talk about having a calendar and a checklist and like your basic organizing stuff, but it wasn't the case. That's not at all what this chapter is about. It's not talking about organization in that sense. It's talking about turning your desire, putting your desires into action. How are you going to do that? How are you going to plan that all out? So I'm going to go through a few things. I won't go through the entirety of the chapter. Like I said, it's quite long, but I'll go through the main things that really stuck out to me and how it could really help us within the business that we're in, and also outside of the business, how it can help us in our own personal lives. Now, I'm going to start off with a few steps on what he says is required or what is a necessity to organize really well. So the first one is ally yourself with a group of as many people as you need for the creation and carrying out of your plan or plans. Now, you remember back a couple chapters, we went through 6 steps on how to find that burning desire, fueling it with faith. So how much money do you want? What's a definite amount? Writing it on paper, reading it aloud twice a day. Well, this is where he comes into play to basically turn all that desire into action. He's giving you kind of like a blueprint on how you're going to do that. So the first thing is you need to ally yourself with a group of people that will help you do that. So we're in this business, we want to be financially free. So we're aligning ourselves with a group of different individuals to help us do that. We're not in this business just by chance. We're in this business with a like set of people. So there's a good chance, and I can personally say I probably would have never spoken to any of you ever in my life if it wasn't for this business, if we didn't have that one common goal. If you agree with me, drop a 3 in the chat. We would have never spoken, never met. Nobody knows who Mel is. I don't know who Tiara or Aiden or Ebony. Yeah, we wouldn't know each other. But thing is, we have one common goal. We all wanted to turn that desire into an action. So whether it's wanting to be financially free, whether it's building your business, we all had that one goal, and this was it. So we came together as a group. We allied ourselves, and we're constantly growing. We're constantly expanding our group. Now, the second part, if you guys remember during the last session of Mondays with Mel, we talked about mastermind, having a mastermind alliance. So what does that mean? It's okay that you don't know everything. It's really okay, and you shouldn't know everything, but you having a mastermind alliance, what does that mean? So you having a group of individuals that you can go to. So let's say you go to person A. Person A knows everything about cars. Let's say you go to person B. Person B knows everything about airplanes. Let's say you go to person C. They know everything about bicycles. It's okay that you don't know everything about cars, airplanes, bicycles, but you have the individuals that you're associating yourself with that do know about these things. This is you forming your mastermind group. Within here, yes, we've we've come together and we've allied. We're now allies of each other, but together we are a mastermind group as well. I know I can go to Reese for so many different mindset things. I know I can go to Nikwana for a lot of charts. I know I can go to Ebony with some different strategies. So I know where I can get my information from. It's okay that I don't know everything, but I've chosen the correct mastermind. So the first thing of organized planning was ally yourself with the group. I like to think that we've done that already. The second thing is forming that mastermind alliance. You need to think now, before you do that, you need to think about the pros and the cons. What are you going to give them and what are they going to give you? Because in this life, nothing is free. You don't get nothing without giving something. So what are you going to give them and what are they going to give you in return? So yes, Reese may provide mindsets, Nikwana might provide chart analysis, but what are you giving in return? So you need to know that you're providing some kind of value in there. And if you've not yet provided some kind of value in your mind, maybe that's something you need to personally work on. You always want to make sure you're giving exactly what you're getting in return. It may not be the exact same thing, but you're giving something in return. The third one is to arrange to meet with the members of your mastermind group at least twice a week. Now, many times within this chapter, he stresses to meet with this group twice a week. Now, how do we do this within the business that we're in right now? So, thank God for Zoom. That's all I can say. So Zoom allows us to do so many different things. Now, the groups that we're in, we may not all be available at the same time to meet twice a week. However, you know the people that you are aligning yourself with, you need to make it a force of habit to meet with them twice a week. So whether that's actually physically being able to meet with them or getting on a Zoom call, looking at their faces, even if it's their display picture, it doesn't matter. That is you meeting them. You need to make sure that you're meeting with that group so you can keep up everything that you need to do. This is your action that you're taking from that burning desire that you had. This is your way to acquire everything that you're hoping for. You need to make sure that you're aligning yourself with those people, and you need to make sure you're keeping in contact with those people. Let's say I go ahead and I form a mastermind group right now, and I form them, and then I let 2-3 weeks pass, and I check in once in a while, and then I go back and I check in again, but I'm not constantly keeping in touch with them. Do you really think you're going to have that strength with that mastermind group versus the first week you were so energetic, you were so enthusiastic about it? No, you're going to lose a lot of that enthusiasm. You're going to lose a lot of that energy, which is why you need to constantly be in touch with that group. Like I said, you guys may not be able to meet up, but Zoom has been a blessing during these times. So you need to make sure you're meeting with your group at least twice a week. The fourth thing is maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. If you fail to carry out this instruction, you may expect to meet failure. The mastermind principle cannot obtain what perfect harmony does not prevail. What does that mean? Maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. So this goes back to maintaining that contact between them. Let's say you come in and you're not maintaining the relationship that you intentionally had with them. So you're coming in, you're constantly juicing all of the good value that they have. You're not giving anything in return, or you're not checking up on them, or you're basically, it's not a two-way street. It's just a one-way street where you're just grabbing all your value and kind of dishing. You need to make sure that you have that harmony within the group. You have to make sure that you're giving and taking at the same time, but do not be taking more than you can give. So that's where the harmony comes into play. So those are the 4 steps that he stresses so many times, and I've seen this many places. You must ally yourself with a group of people that you would need to create and carry out your plan. Then you need to form your mastermind alliance, balance out the pros and the cons. Then you need to arrange to meet this mastermind group of yours at least twice a week. And then you must make sure that you're keeping the harmony within that group. If this makes sense, can you all drop a 4 in the chat, please? Okay, cool. Now, organized planning, like I said, when I saw the chapter, I'm like, okay, so we're going to be dealing with calendars and like goals and checklists. It was not that at all. This organized planning is how you're actually going to carry out everything you desire, put it into plan, and carry it out by action. So he mentioned many times within the book different well-known individuals. Sorry, I don't remember what I said. The last one of the step 4, it's maintaining perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. So those are the 4 steps. And like I said, I've seen them many places, many times, and those steps don't change at all. So in the book, Napoleon Hill, he mentions many well-known individuals. One of them is Thomas Edison. Do you really think he became successful the first time, or the second time, or the third, or fourth, or fifth? No, this man must have failed 100 times, if not 1,000 times. Now the thing is, when he failed, he didn't give up. He didn't give up at all. He used everything that he was failing from, everything that wasn't working, as, okay, this is a step in me making it work. I had to go through these failures for me to understand, okay, if it doesn't work this way, I know next time I do it, I shouldn't try it that way. Or I can redevelop it from the error that I've had, and make it much better. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, if not more. Now, I want you guys to remember, when you fail, failing is not a sign of defeat. It may be temporary defeat. Right in that moment, you may feel like crap. Forgive me. You may feel like crap, but that is just temporary defeat. Don't let that bring you down. This is why we say our losses in the markets aren't just losses, they're lessons. It's an opportunity for us to go back, see what went wrong, and what can we do better for the next time. So defeat, when it comes to executing your plan, you're going to fail. All of us are going to fail. Each and every single one of us on here. Not one of us is perfect. Now, when we fail, it's up to us and how we take that and we go with it. Matt had mentioned on this morning's call, Morning with Nanos, how it's the mindset that you have. So he was talking more about leaders, but this goes for everybody. When you fail, you need to know how you're going to react to that situation and what are you going to do better next time. This is why we say when you're trading in the market, you should have a trading journal, because you want to know where you won, why you won, how you won, but you also want to know where you lost, why you lost, and how you lost. Those losses become your lessons. So same thing when it comes to your plans. A lot of you that are building your businesses right now, you need to know, okay, why did this not work? Why did my group fall apart? What happened? Or why did I lose this relationship with this one individual that I brought into my business? I'm not even 2 and free. I'm not P150. I just have this one person that trusts me. Why did it not work? Why are they not replying to me? Why are they not plugging into the calls? This is all temporary defeat, but you must go and find out why did that happen? You must use it all as a lesson. Let's say they never come back to your business. Okay. That's all God's work, I believe. But now you need to use whatever happened to that person and implement it to the next person that comes in. Okay, this didn't go right with this person. Maybe I did something that was not a proper form of leadership. Maybe I didn't react well to certain situations. I know how to behave next time. Now, will every person be the same? Obviously not. But these are all lessons you need to keep in mind at the back of your head when someone else comes in. Now, we're going to go through a few different steps where he goes through there's a lot actually within this chapter. He goes through a few different things that you can do and many steps that come with it. So the first thing we're going to go through is the major attributes of leadership. Now, I know Matt touched on something this morning, and I know many leaders have touched on it many times before, but I'm going to go directly off of the book and what the book is saying. So you guys are going to have this for yourself. And even if you're not a leader yet, guys, so I'm talking to everyone who is not P150, everyone who is not 2 and free. This applies to you as well, because you may not be leading in this business yet, but you're probably leading at home. You're probably leading in the job that you currently have. You're probably leading within your family. This goes for you. And believe me, the same things apply with family. You'll see. And I tested it a little bit. So the main attributes of leadership. So the first one, to sum it up, is no one wants to be led by a leader that has no self-confidence or courage. Now, let's put your jobs into perspective. I think I can speak for most of us here that have worked a job, that we've had a manager or we had a supervisor, whatever the case. How many of you would feel confident in the work that you did if your manager wasn't confident? They're like, okay, Mel, can you do this? But I'm not sure how you do it, but can you do it? Would you guys feel confident if you had a manager or supervisor like that? Drop a 5 in the chat if you would feel confident if you had a manager like that. No. I'd be looking at that person like, who hired you? Who trained you? No, it doesn't happen like that. So the first thing to leadership is just having that confidence, having that courage. It's okay, like I said, it's okay that you don't know everything. That's totally cool. But it's how you portray yourself, how you bring yourself. My mama always says, she says, it doesn't matter how expensive your clothing is. So let's say we got like a top for $5. She said, nobody will ever know that that was a $5 top. It just depends on how you wear that top. They may think it's a $100 top. You can wear, it depends how you wear the clothing on your body. No one will ever know. A lot of the times we didn't have the money to go to Chanel and like Gucci and Aritzia and Michael Kors. We didn't have that. We had those little franchises, the Stitches and the Urban Planets and the Susie, all of that stuff. And a lot of this stuff, they were $5, $10, $2, but we would come out and we would rock the heck out of all of that stuff, and nobody would know how much it is. It just depends on how you wear it. So that's where this part comes into place. It's okay that you don't know everything, but you need to portray some kind of self-confidence, some kind of courage. So that's the first one. The second one is self-control. So you not being able to control your emotions, control yourself, believe me, it's going to get the best of you. Let's say you walk into your business that you want to lead. Let's say you walk into your business and you're letting your emotions run wild. You like this person over that person, or you think you're big and bad, all of that. Not having control over all of these things within you, believe me, it'll lead your business into disaster, into chaos. So the second one is self-control. The third one is a keen sense of justice. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command or retain the respect of his followers. So what does that mean? So I personally got told about 2 years ago, Mel, you're not a leader. And I said, what? I'm a great leader. Everywhere I go, I'm a leader. Whether I start off as a key holder or assistant manager or manager or supervisor, I'm always leading. But what are you telling me I'm not a leader? What does that even mean? I said, you're not a leader because you let your mind, you lose your self-control in certain situations. Just because you don't like that person doesn't mean you're in any position to disregard their opinion or whatever they're coming to you for. Even if they're in the wrong, you need to make sure, you need to treat them as if they were your favorite person. Even if they were in the wrong, even if they're in the right, you need to still treat them like they're your favorite person. He said, until you learn to do that, you will not be a leader. And I looked at this guy and I wanted to punch him in his face, because he was one of my biggest mentors. I was like, seriously, is this really what you're telling me? Because I know I can lead. I've led teams of hundreds of people. I know I can do it. But he said that one thing, and to this day, countless of times in a week, I remember those words. Mel, you're not a leader. Mel, you're not a leader. And every time I hear it, I get frustrated. I get so frustrated. My blood starts boiling, and I'm like, calm down. You know why he said it. You know exactly why he said it, and you know what to do with those words. So I think I've improved personally with that. But for a lot of us here, I want you to think of your household. If you have siblings or you have many relatives within your household or your family, having a keen sense of justice, what does that mean? Not taking one side over the next. You gotta remain Switzerland, or I think that's a neutral country or something like that. You gotta remain neutral in the situation. So for me, I have 3 other siblings that I'm living with. We had an argument just yesterday. One was upset at the other was upset at the other. I had to sit there and say, okay, all right. Do you want me to talk to them? No. Okay. Do you want me to talk to them? No. Okay. And by the end of it, they resolved it all on their own. But you need to make sure you have that fair justice between them. Now, look at our groups right now. I'm sure we have individuals within our groups whose ideas clash on the constant. constantly. I can speak for that. Leaders especially, we all have leading ideas, and man, we clash all the time. Guys, don't think we're perfect, because we're not. We're not. We're strong-minded individuals. We all think my way is the right way, but we're humble enough to know, okay, it's probably not. But having that keen sense of justice is really important. The next one is definiteness of decision. So if you guys were on Bob Proctor's most recent session on Go Live, he talked about the man that makes the decision instantaneously. So a man that makes a decision on the spot is better than a man that stumbles over like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. That man or woman knows exactly what they want. So you knowing what your decision is and standing with it is really important as a leader. So in your household, in this business, you coming to that decision, you must make it instantaneously and stand upon it. Now, if you're really not sure how to make that decision at that time, you need to be courageous enough to say, I cannot make this decision at this time for X, Y, and Z reasons. But that's number 4. The number 5 is definiteness of plans. So a successful leader must plan his work and work his plan. So I know we've all heard this many times. We must have a plan and we must work that plan. So a lot of us set goals, whether it's in this business or outside of this business, and the goal date passes us completely. I personally can speak that I've passed my goal many, many times. How many of you have set a goal and that goal date of yours has passed? Drop a 5 in the chat. If your date for that goal that you've set just went completely out the window. So I set a goal for getting this on July 1st, and man, that didn't happen. I set a goal for May 25th that, like, I set goals all the time and I missed that goal. Now here's the thing. We need to learn how not to change our goal date, but change the way we work. Now, a lot of the times that doesn't happen because we don't have an effective plan in play. We think we do, but we don't. We're saying, okay, my goal is to do this. I'm going to do this, this, and this. But did you really plan out that goal? Did you really plan out on a daily basis what you're going to do to achieve that goal? Because a lot of the times we lie to ourselves. We fool ourselves. And the people that we're telling these goals to, we try to fool them too. Yeah, I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to do that. But are you really? Did you really plan that goal? So having a definite plan is number 5. Number 6 is the habit of doing more than paid for. So as the leader, we tend to go above and beyond. A good leader goes above and beyond. And that's not out of any certain intention. It's just because we're doing it out of the kindness of our heart. I've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars for all of my teams in the past. And it's just simply because I saw a reason to do it. We as leaders came together and put together a raffle, this welcome package for you guys, which we're about to expose. We did this because that's the kindness, not even the kindness, because we see a greater purpose coming out of it. Now, do all leaders need to do this? No, not at all. Now, let's go back. Let me refer to our home, our household. As a leader in your household, you have to do more than you pay for. You may need to take out the trash when mom and dad don't say, hey, can you go take out the trash? You may need to clean the entire house when mom and dad or grandma or whoever says, go clean, before they even tell you to go clean it. This is you doing more than you need to. This is you taking that initiative. In this house, Lord, if someone says, go clean that whatever, you need to run. But we, instead of us running, we think beforehand. So we do it ahead of time. So instead of having our mom said, okay, so nobody cleaned the house, or my dad saying, look at all the dishes in the sink, we remember those statements. And then we're like, okay, we don't want to hear that. So we're going to do it before they come home from work. We're going to do that before they hit the kitchen, before they hit the house, because this is us I know it's what we need to do, but this is us doing more than we need to at that time. I know for some, they do it just out of their good conscience. This is just how they were brought up. But a lot of these kids nowadays, their focus is not cleaning the house or washing the dishes or folding the laundry. So this is where they need to do more than they need to versus their other kids in their class or whatever. The 7-1 is a pleasing personality. So being a leader, and I know I can speak for a lot of us on this call. I know having a leader who is a total B word or a total jerk doesn't help you in the workplace, doesn't help you in whatever you're doing. Let's even say you're on a community sports team. That person that you have leading that sports team, or that coach that you have, if they're a total jerk, you're probably not going to enjoy what you're doing anymore. In this business, if you have a jerk for a leader, or you have someone who just doesn't flat out care about anything, that you're just a sign up for them, you're not going to enjoy the time that you have here. You're not going to want to do a lot of the things here. I know we've lost people. I'm not speaking specifically to this group, but I know we've lost people because of situations like this. And I know in the workplace, I know I've personally left different jobs because of people like that. Having a leader with a really terrible personality or terrible work ethic towards you, it doesn't help anyone. So you as a leader, you should make sure you have a calm and soothing and welcoming personality. Nobody will join or want you to leave them if you're total jerk. So I know I believe that we're all pretty nice folks on here. Number 8, sympathy and understanding. So the successful leader must be in sympathy with his followers. Moreover, he must understand them and their problems. So this is someone who is checking up on their team. So if I lead a team, I need to make sure I know what they're doing, how they're doing. And it's not always about the business sometimes. It's just, hey, how's home? How are you feeling? How's your broken toe? How's your meal that you were preparing last night? It's you having that sympathy, just that concern towards your team that makes you a much better leader. I got 3 more. Number 9 is the mastery of detail. So what does that mean? Understanding what a leader is. And this kind of comes in time. This comes in time. This comes with you learning from other leaders. It won't come to you overnight. We're not all born natural leaders, but we learn from others. So understanding the detail of leadership. Number 10 is willingness to assume full responsibility. So I can't tell you the number of times I've taken the hit for my team. In the medical field, in the medical field, you can't make a mistake. Flat out, simple. You cannot make a mistake. You're going to cause somebody to die. You're going to kill somebody on the table if you make a mistake, more or less. So a lot of the times I've had people who have put the wrong medication for patients and they're about to go into procedure. Mel got to run in and Mel got to fix that, right? Like that second. Mel got to make sure that person don't die on that table. So a lot of the times I take number 7, yeah. I'll repeat it just now. I got to take responsibility for that. And in this business, a lot of the leaders take responsibility for a lot of things. Let's say something happens with an MW2 and Nate comes to Biva and he says, okay, Beav, this, and this. You think Biva's going to be like, okay, it was this person from this team and it was their people and whatever. No, he's going to be like, okay, I understand, Nate. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to take care of it. He took that complete responsibility right off the bat. He's now going to go and figure out what's the problem and how he can deal with it. So same thing happens in the medical field. For me personally, if something happens, okay, we got the wrong prescription on there or the wrong medication, I'm not going to say, okay, yeah, it was Carla on the front desk. It's her 2nd week. She's trying her hardest. She's doing her best. Nobody got time for that. I'm taking my responsibility for my team and their actions. I'm fixing the situation at that time. And once that is done and dealt with, I'm going to go back to Carla and say, all right, sweetie, so this is what happened. Let's look at the situation and understand why it happened and how we can prevent it for next time. So a good leader is always willing to assume full responsibility. The last one is cooperation. A successful leader must understand and apply the principle of cooperative effort and be able to induce his followers to do the same. So leadership, yes, it calls for power, but power calls for cooperation. We can't just lead by ourselves. Our team doesn't just become a team just because of that one person. Our team becomes a team because of that cooperation, that inclusion, that teamwork. There's no like they say, there's no I think it's no I in team or something like that. It's all about cooperation. You are not the team you alone. You didn't build that team all by yourself. In this business, especially you becoming a leader, for those of you that are looking to build, you will not be that team leader all on your own. You will have individuals that help you build the team that you currently have. So that's number 11. I'm going to repeat them really quickly. So number 1 is having self-confidence and courage. Number 2 is self-control. Number 3 is a keen sense of justice. Number 4 is definiteness of decision. Number 5 is definiteness of plans. Number 6 is the habit of doing more than paid for. Number 7 is a pleasing personality. Number 8 is sympathy and understanding. Number 9 is mastery of detail. Number 10 is willing to assume full responsibility. And number 11 is cooperation. So like I said, this chapter is way long, and I only made it through 1/3 of this chapter. So we may need to continue it into next week because there's a lot more within this that would be really great to touch on. But I want you guys to understand specifically that Napoleon Hill touches on 2 kinds of leadership. And the 2 kinds of leaderships are leadership of consent and leadership by force. Leadership by force flat out just does not work. It does not work. You coming in and being a forceful leadership, it's the same with a forceful attitude, believe me, it don't work. You being a leader of consent, what does that mean? Everything that we talked about, all of those 11 steps and implementing that is you being a leader of consent. Now, one thing I want you guys to know is every leader started as a follower. Every leader was once a great follower. So there's nothing wrong in being a follower, but there's no credit in remaining a follower. I want you guys to remember that. You want to be a leader, great, but you got to start off as a follower. So this is why they say, listen to your leaders, duplicate the one that have the success. This is you just being a follower. Once you understand exactly what they're doing to get that success, and once you're starting that duplication process, you're working your way into becoming a good leader. But a good leader doesn't ever stop being a student. So we need to remain humble at all times and know that you can be the best of the best leaders, but you can always learn. You can always still be a follower in that sense, but you're now leading. If this all makes sense, can you guys drop a 777 in the chat, please? And let me know if you want me to repeat anything. Like I said, there's much more to this chapter. We'll touch on it a little bit, maybe next week, Monday, in conjunction with the next chapter, which I'm super excited for. The next chapter is called Decision. So it'll kind of go in together. I'm super excited for that one. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to pass it off to Reese. She's going to take over and we're going to start our gems recap. And I hope you guys have a blessed and fantastic Monday. Please stay safe, stay cool wherever you are. I know it's mad hot over here in Toronto. I wish you guys well. Hope you guys have a great day.
Good morning. Can y'all hear me? I can hear me. This will be good. Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me clearly. Drop a numero uno. Okay, cool. I like it. Good morning, y'all. I appreciate you guys. Hold on. I'm echoing. Appreciate you guys for being here on this beautiful, blessed Monday morning that the Lord has created and brought here to us today. Big shout out to you, Mel. Thank you for that chapter in terms of it was organization and planning, right? That was the one. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I myself, when I was, I think that's the longest chapter, the biggest chapter in the book. So we'll definitely have to come back and get the rest of the gems from that chapter, because a lot of, yeah, it's deep. A lot of what we have to do and a lot of what we have to implement when it comes to our planning and our organizational skills between goals and between actually executing the goals that we have with the game plan that we have in place. It's good to know not just the surface value of like, okay, how are things gonna be laid out and then executed, or like what times frames things are being happened, but like you're looking at a deeper version as well. You're looking at you know, other people who are going to be working with you. You're looking at different type of approaches to your situations, different spaces, things like that. So I definitely appreciate you. You already know you're always coming with the gems in the morning. But yes, let's get to it. We're gonna, you know, we shouldn't run too long today. Where we at? I'm gonna be going over. There was a women's call a couple weeks ago, and I have a lot of notes from that. So like every day, or you know, every so often, I'll be taking a segment from that call and kind of just giving you guys the gems from that. All right. Let's pull up the shit books. Perfect. All right. So today I'm going to be talking about power of persevering. All right. And honestly, when you're in a space, or you're even, you know, working towards accomplishing a goal, you got to make sure that you have that persistence and the perseverance, you know, while going through it, because you're going to get hit with a lot of different things. You're going to get hit with a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations. You're going to get hit with a lot of roadblocks and walls that you got to fight through, that you got to break through, that you got to climb, you know, the holes you got to climb yourself out of. But, you know, you also have to make sure that you stay down for the come up. You stay committed to your plan. You stay committed to yourself. So that you can continue to push through and, you know, make your way, hit those stepping stones, those blocks, and continue to move yourself up the ladder, or whatever the case is. So it's a matter of creating higher highs and higher lows. We are in the business of trading, so let's use a little bit of terminology that's gonna, you know, make it make sense, right? It's a matter of higher highs and higher lows, right? You're gonna have pullbacks. It's never gonna be a straight line from point A to point B, right? That's literally how life works. We're going somewhere, we're on a journey, you know, we're taking a pathway, and there's going to be little detours. There's going to be little pullbacks or setbacks. It's going to, you know, slow us up a little bit. But every time we have that pullback, or we have that slow up, or we have that roadblock that we hit, it's literally just going to take us on in another direction, or it's going to prepare us, right, for the next move of momentum, the next wave of, you know, whatever work ethic you're putting in, or, you know, that upstream, that uptrend, right, be right after the breakout, right? So you have to have, it's basically having the tendency to continue to move forward, move onward, regardless of what comes your way, right? Don't let the no's drain your energy, right? You have to have that attitude, or like any type of setbacks, right? But you don't want to let that drain your energy. You don't want to get discouraged when something doesn't go your way. You really have to look at it as a mindset, as a like a challenge. Like, oh, you said no? Okay, don't worry. I'm gonna make sure somebody says yes. Or you're not feeling what I'm feeling right now? Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna make sure somebody else will. But either way, I'm just trying to help you out, right? At the end of the day, we're gonna make it with or without you. Right? Whoever's here for the ride is going to be here for the ride, down for the cause, right? We're just trying to spread this knowledge to other people. We're just trying to help other people also gain the success, gain this knowledge, gain this information that we've been gaining, to help us grow and elevate, to help us continue to get 1% better every single day, right? But there are going to be people who don't see the vision that you see, and it's okay. It's meant to be like that. They weren't meant for this space. They weren't meant for you. They may be blocking their biggest blessings and not even realize it. It's life. It happens, and it has to happen like that, right? But one thing I realized on a side note is you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Once you present this opportunity, whoever's the right person for this business is going to pick it up and run with it, right? But let's get into it. 10 characteristics of a positive growth environment, right? Number one is others are ahead of you, right? If you feel like you're entering into a space and, you know, you are the smartest, or, you know, you have the most wisdom, or you feel like everybody comes to you for things, then you may be at the cap of your growth. You may be in an environment that, you know, doesn't allow you to continue to promote your growth, right? Doesn't allow you to gain extra value that's going to help you continue to elevate, right? So it's basically like, I'm gonna ask a question. There's not many of us on this call, but whoever's here is here, right? I'm gonna ask a question, and I want you guys to type in the chat. And if you've been on Beava's calls, he's done this, but do you want to be the richest person in the room? I want y'all to put it in the chat. Do you want to be the richest person in the room? And be transparent about it. This is an open space. Nope. Nope. Who else? I got 2. Do you want to be the richest person in the room? Do you want to be that person in the room that has it all? Do you want to be that person in the room that, you know, spotlights on you because you're at the top? Hey, there is nothing wrong with it, to be honest. But in terms of you and your personal growth, maybe in terms of you and your personal growth, it's not going to help you. It's not going to, you're now capped. You've now reached the limit of where you can go because based off of your environment. Now, I'm not saying richest person in the room in terms of like going to an event and being like top shot or top baller or whatever the case is. And even in that sense, it's a great accomplishment, but you know, you want to look at something that where you can now up your standard. You want to look at somebody that has more than you and be like, okay, so I've made it this far. How do I continue to push forward? How do I continue to add value to myself so I can make it to that level? Because at the end of the day, numbers are infinite, right? Numbers are going to continue to grow and continue to grow. There's no cap on these numbers, right? So why do you have to feel that, you know, if you're the richest person in the room or if you have it all, right? Why do you feel that, what's it called? There's no more that you can gain. Once you start to realize that, you know, out of your friend group, even something as simple as that, you know, you may be the one that's most elevated or whatever, and just be transparent about it. You can, once you start to step into the space, you start to see the differences, right? But when you start to realize that, you know, you're vibrating at a different frequency, I'll put it like that, then you realize that you need to find other people that vibrate at the frequency that you're vibrating at. Otherwise, the energies that are around you are going to hold you back, and then they're not going to help promote your growth, right? So it's basically, you know, are you in a place where you're ahead of your class? If you are in the wrong environment. You may be in a cage at this point, right? Place yourself in an environment where there are other people who are helping promote your growth. Being in an environment where you're surrounded by people who are doing the right things, helping you see things you need to be doing, that is a place that you want to be in, because now you want to duplicate what they're doing so that you can gain the same success. You want to duplicate their efforts so that you can start to learn and educate and train yourself, you know, to be on that frequency, to elevate at a higher frequency, to now make it a subconscious thought that's always rotating over and over and over again in your head, and translating out into the physical, right? So that's the first one. Are others ahead of you? Okay. There's 10 steps, so make sure we're taking our notes and writing these down. All right. Number 2, you are continuously challenged, right? It's about the journey. Don't get stuck on the next level, but be happy and find the challenge in the process, right? There are, like, again, we talked about trials and tribulations, right? There are so many things that are going to come in your way as you're on your journey, just to basically test you to see if you're worth it, just to test you to see if you're ready for the fire, if you're ready for the war, right? If you're not ready, if you're not prepared, you're going to end up failing that test. You're going to end up, you know, maybe not getting it done in that point in time. Not to say you can't go back and pass it again later, because it is a journey, it is a process, right? But in that present moment in time, you're going to fail that test, and it's going to show, hey, maybe I'm not ready for this, right? But not to get discouraged about it. You want to take that and then realize, okay, you know what? The next time I'm going to do better. The next time I'm going to do better. 1% better every single day, right? I'm going to start to envelop myself into different activities that are going to allow me to push past the problems, push past and continue to fight through the things that are becoming hard or challenging or whatever the case is, right? Sometimes we reach financial issues, literally even within this space. We are investing into a market, biggest market in the world, right? We still have to learn how to manage our money and manage our finances along the way. It doesn't all of a sudden just disappear because now you're trading in this market. No, these factors are still real, are still live. So how are you able to push through, just for an example, your financial situation, as well as tapping into this market, right? Are you using your current situation to say, you know what, this is exactly the reason why I can't stop? This is exactly the reason why I can't stop doing what I'm doing. This is exactly the reason why I have to continue, have to push, and I have to make it work, right? But understand that the challenges are literally what's going to make you. The challenges are going to show you what you need to do, what you don't need to do, what's going to help, what's not going to help, and it's going to continue to define and change your character, or you acquire different traits that you didn't have, or get rid of old ones that you did, and all that stuff, right? The breakthroughs are when you get the motivation to continue on, right? Those are the, like, when you're faced with a challenge and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get it. It's gonna work. You're working on the challenge, and boom, you fix it. You fix the problem. You broke through. You're moving on to the next, and that's where the momentum comes in. Because you just beat that challenge. Like, all right, I'm on it. What's next? Hit me, coach. What's next? You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready for it, right? But once you start to break through and actually get those challenges organized and handled and underway or whatever, you will now start to feel that confidence. You start to build more confidence. You start to build more courage to actually go out. We talked about confidence and courage, right? Courage to go out and try another task, do another battle, fight that next challenge that you're going to face when it comes, the day it comes, right? There is no limit in this company. There is no finish line. Don't limit yourself when it comes to this space, right? You could literally enroll as many people as you need to. You can grow your business as big as you want to. You can see that they're creating new compensation ranks just because the company continues to grow, right? So there's no limit. Don't limit yourself. Don't tell yourself that you can't do it, right? Because then that's going to end up slowing you up just because of the thought process that you're putting into your head, right? All the words that you speak have a vibration attached to it. Regardless if you're joking or not, your mind doesn't know the difference between a joke and what's not a joke, right? So if you're speaking such energies, you're going to be vibrating at that level. You're going to now be putting that thought process into your head, which without you realizing it paints that subconscious emotion and feelings in, and you're watering it. You're watering these seeds and you don't want to water them. So, be mindful of the tongue. And understand that literally you create whatever it is you want to create. You create that life of abundance. You create that life of success, of prosperity, literally just by the way, you shape and you look at your blueprint. You're a visionary for your life. So use it effectively. But again, don't limit yourself. You can do anything you want to do, right? Right when you think you're done, do one or two more things extra just to promote your growth, right? And Mel actually, it's funny how the calls are aligning, because she talked about, what was it? Where is it? The habit of doing more than paid for, right? Whenever you feel like you've done whatever it is you need to do, go back and do one more thing. Go back and message one more person, or make one more phone call, or put up one more post, or watch one more video, or read another half hour of your book. Whatever the case is, do a little bit extra, because that's where you're going to feel the 1% growth. Because you're like, okay, you wake up the next day and it's like, wow, I actually got this, and this done today, right? You're going to start to feel that extra growth. You're going to start to feel that 1% better every single day. It's like, yeah, I did a little bit more than yesterday. Did a little bit more than the day before, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And then after a while, that little bit of more continues. It grows into one big ball, and it's like, boom, here we go. Now here's all your growth, everything that you've been working for. You don't see it though, because every single day you're working towards it. But then at one point you're going to look back and be like, whoa, where did all of this come from? Right? On the mornings with Neno this morning with Matt Rosa, he was basically saying everybody wants to change until it's actually time to change, right? Nobody really wants to change and go through the process of change. They want to change when they see the results. And that's why a lot of people get stuck in a vibrational holding, because people are not really putting in that effort to actually make that change. They're waiting for the change to come before they actually have to change where they're at. But that's not how it works. You have to change where you're at first, or change what it is that you're doing first, so that you can get that change in the physical. So you can see that change happen. But nobody wants to go through that waiting process, because that growth doesn't happen overnight, right? I've been ranting on, I'm only on number 2. Let me push it forward, right? Actually, before I move off from number 2, continues to challenge, switch from how long will I take, and switch to how far can I really go, right? What else is in me? What else can I do? Once you start to ask those questions to yourself, then you're going to start to face more challenges and actually conquer them. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be faced with anything that you truly can't accomplish, right? Everything that you need for you to be successful, for you to win, for you to be a great citizen in this world is already within you, right? So you got to dig deeper and ask yourself, what else am I capable of? I got this, this, and this done. What else can I get done, right? Moving on. Number 3, your focus is forward, right? Don't look back. Make sure, so that's the point. Your focus is forward. Don't look back. Make sure that you are constantly growing. You're constantly looking ahead. You're constantly looking at your future. You're looking at where you're going to be at the end of the month, where you're going to be 3 months from now, where you're going to be by the end of the year, or even a year from now, next summer. What is your future look like? What does your future hold, right? Instead of looking at the past and looking at what's already been done, what has already happened, the different experiences that you've already gone through. Yes, you want to, make sure that you take whatever you need to take from those experiences as lessons, but not hold on to them and not dwell in them just because they happened, right? You want to continue to push forward, start to look at things in a different perspective, right? When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change, right? So it's all about your perception on your situations. How am I viewing this current situation that I'm in, or this current situation that I'm in, right? You have to be able to be like, all right, cool. I'm looking at it this way, but let me flip the script. Instead of looking at it as, oh, I'm stuck in this rut, or I haven't been growing, or I haven't been elevating. No, let's flip the script, right? Even if you don't feel it, as much as you want to put that emotion behind the words, that is also something that happens over time by repetition and continuing to water those seeds, right? But you want to flip the script whenever you have those doubting thoughts, whenever you start to see yourself trailing back to your past or trailing back to old traits and habits that you're trying to get rid of, so that you can step into the new person that you're becoming, this next chapter of this next phase of your life, right? But you want to definitely push forward, right? Make sure you're constantly growing. What's good back then may not be good for you anymore. What's good back then may not be good for you anymore. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Forward is forward, right? As long as you're continuing to grow, that's why we say 1% better every day. You don't have to force it, right? If you're one of those people that like to grow at an exponential rate, do whatever you have to do. I am rooting for you, I promise, right? But just take that, don't make it overwhelming for yourself. If I know I'm one of those people, when there's like a chunk of things happening all at once, I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. Reese, how are you? How are you doing today? Is everything okay? Can we get a smile? Can we get a smile? I have to take a minute and just collect myself, right? So if you're one of those people that, can't take a whole lot of pressure at once, tackle it one at a time. Tackle it one thing at a time. Because I also have a tendency to look at everything all at once and look at what I have to do and then get overwhelmed by like this, and this, versus actually, okay, let me start with this. And then let me start with this. And let me go on to this. And then this. And then this. Right? If you tackle it one by one, you're going to end up accomplishing or working on whatever it is that you got to work on and moving through whatever it is that you got to work through. So just remember to always keep your focus up, focus forward. We're looking at the future. You're looking at your future self and bringing the characteristics of that future self into the present right here, right now, so that you can make that future self your new reality, right? Number 4, the atmosphere is affirming. Right? Your atmosphere is affirming. So basically the environment that you're sitting in. We are in a space where we have access to many mentors and educators and leaders that are helping us grow, that are, promoting our growth by giving us good value, by giving us support, by giving us love, all of that stuff. The atmosphere is nurturing to who you're becoming, to the, the things that you have that, you're looking to accomplish. I don't know why I'm tripping all over my words right now, but this is what your mentors are for, being pushed to become a better version of you, right? The energy in the environment is helping promote your growth. So again, it's everything that's in your environment is feeding you. Another thing that Matt Rosa said this morning was, we want to switch from having the environment around, how do you say it? We want to switch from the environment being a product of, or us being a product of our environment, to our environment being a product of us. Right? Basically saying, okay, I'm living in a space, and because of the space that I'm in, or because of the things that I'm taking in, this is who I am. This is me. No, we want to take control and we want to flip the script, right? So you have to be consciously aware of what you're feeding, of what you're telling yourself, of what you're intaking, so that you can effectively dish it out, or learn the right things for you to see a new reality, for you to be in a new headspace or a new environment that's going to feed you effectively. So now your environment has become a product of you, has become a product of who you are and what you've done for you to actually gain this information, gain this knowledge to then shape your future, right? Number 5, stepping out of your comfort zone. This is a big, big thing. I always say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Easier said than done, but at the end of the day, it's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it, right? You're either going to go up and talk to that person or you're not. You're either going to get up at 7 a.m. and start your day or you're not. You're going to either read that book or you're not. You're going to hop on it's literally in your control. It's either you do it or you don't. It's not no TRY, right? That forbidden word. It's like, are you going to get on the call? Yes? No? Okay, cool. Like, make that decision, but understand that you have the power to do that, right? We are, again, this is a special space. This is a space where, not many people have access to, right? We are, in a space that's only accessible to like top 3% of the world, right? We are on a different type of timing. We are not going to be doing the things that we've always been doing up to this point in this space and expect to see the results of those who have made those sacrifices, the results of those who have gone through the dirt, who have actually, put in all that work to see that success and to, gain everything that they've gained. No, they had to get a lot uncomfortable, not even a little bit, but a lot of uncomfortable, so that they can start to see that growth and that quantum leap, right? If you sit at the edge of your uncomfort zone, not at the edge of your comfort zone, at the edge of your uncomfort zone, that's where you're going to see the biggest leaps, the biggest jumps, the biggest changes, because not only are you getting uncomfortable, but you're getting extremely uncomfortable, to the point where it's like, do I even recognize myself? Am I really doing this? Because the old Reese wouldn't do any of this stuff. The old Reese wouldn't be going to talk to somebody random about, hey, want to join my business? Not really like that, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Then you start to look at yourself and you start to realize you don't recognize who you used to be, but you see that you're recognizing who you're becoming, who you're destined to become, and who you've actually dreamt of becoming. And that alone is a very fulfilling feeling. That alone is that feeling of we're going somewhere. We're doing something. We're taking this and we're going to run with it. And we're going to continue to run with it and see what we can really become, because I'm liking this new version of me. I'm liking these new traits and these new characteristics that I'm building, because I realize that I'm forming the Reese that I want to be. I realize that I'm forming that chairwoman stature or mentality, or whatever the case is, that I've always dreamt of, that I've been pinpointing, right? So now that I see things happening more in the physical every single day, just because of I'm getting a little bit more uncomfortable, just because I'm doing a little bit more to grow a little bit more, right? Being the loudest one in the room without having to say a word, like that type of uncomfortability. You're starting to see little things of your future start to show up in the present, and it's like, I like the way this feels. I like this energy right now. I like this vibe. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna keep running with it. But trust me, sitting at the edge of your uncomfort zone is going to give you a lot of growth. It's going to help you really start to reach those heights that you've been gunning for. But you have to make sacrifice for that to happen. You have to start to give up things that you normally wouldn't give up. You have to give up old habits that are not helping you grow. You have to, start to manage your time differently, so you can put more effort. You can put more effort into your education, into your knowledge, into the information that's going to help you reach those heights. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to sacrifice who we hang out with, who we talk to, what we listen to, the things that we do on our spare time. All of that's going to come with a price, right? But understand that the price is very rewarding if we could sacrifice and stay disciplined to that sacrifice, right? Sit at the edge of our uncomfort zone and continue to work and to get 1% better every single day. Your future you is going to show up a lot sooner if you can consistently do that for the next 3 to 6 months, literally, right? In the next 3 to 6 months, we can jump a whole 2 years, 5 years, right? So it's just one of those where, again, you're either going to do it or you're not, right? You're going to let that fear block you from possible blessings, from a possible relationship, or somebody who could have been a chairman in your business, but you didn't know because you never went up to say, hey, As simple as that. Okay. Number 6, wake up excited. Wake up excited. Wake up with that burst of energy. You got to take that before you even wake up excited. Mind you, wake up excited, yes, to start the day, everything like that. But before you do anything, you meditate. You collect yourself. You become one with your body again. Have you guys ever went to sleep and woke up, but your body wasn't awake? Your mind woke up, but your body wasn't awake. And you get that like sleep paralysis. Any of you ever experienced that? Right? And what happens usually when you end up in that sleep paralysis, it takes a minute for you to shake it off. It takes a minute for you to get your muscles to fire, because you're lying there, your body's like not moving, like you're still sleeping, but your mind is up, and you can see what's around you, but you can't really see it because remember, your body is still sleeping. So your eyes are maybe half cracked, half open. You're seeing what's around you, but nothing's really happening. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and then that's where you be stuck. You know, I'm telling you, sometimes that's where lucid dreaming comes in, but that's a whole different conversation. We're not going to get to that. But you're literally there, and you have to, I'll be there lying there, I'm sitting and telling myself like, yo, Reese, move a finger. Easiest way to get out of it, if y'all don't know how, wiggle your fingers and your toes. That's the quickest way to get out of sleep paralysis. But you be lying there and you're just like, I need to move. I need to get up. Why can't I get up? I can't move anything. Oh my gosh. I just want to lift my arm. Just lift your arm. Just wake up a little bit. You know what I mean? But once you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and you can tell yourself wiggle your fingers and your toes, you'll snap out of it. But why did I say, wake up excited? Yes. So reason why I brought that up was, you want to take that time to meditate, because there's times where you wake up and your mind and your soul and your spirit has not connected back to your body yet. So you need to take that minute to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your body, and understand and just feel how you're feeling in that moment. Feel the energy around you, or create that, bring your energy up. You always want to vibrate on a higher frequency. So bring your energy up. Just take the moment to just be like, thank you, Lord, for waking me up another day. Thank you for allowing me to see another day in this life. Thank you for allowing me to have another chance to really become great, or to really change somebody's life, or, to even impact and do better for myself today so that I can go and help my family, right? Give thanks and gratitude and put it out into the earth for the highest creator that has us the way we are right now. And just take that moment, just take 15 minutes and visualize. As you're meditating and as you're becoming one with your body, you also want to mentally rehearse where you want to be, what's going to happen into your future, and put that image into your head. When you do this in the mornings, remember, fresh off the wake up is one of the most vulnerable times that you can be doing this, for it to really start to seep into your subconscious, because you're still groggy, you're still like I'm here, like I'm trying to, you know what I mean? So doing it during that time where your subconscious is still very like at an open state, do it there so you can start to plant and water those seeds, so that they become real emotions and then translate into the physical through your actions, right? But once you say your daily affirmations, get yourself to that state of excitement, right? If you got to do your savers, your morning routine, make sure you have your morning routine set after you do your meditation and your affirmations, right? Because the way you start off your day is going to set the tone for how you actually translate through your day, how you interact with people, what you get done, the energy that you're putting towards the work that you're doing. That's all going to make a difference once you actually start the day fresh, bright. Sometimes you got to wake up, after you meditate, you brush your teeth and you have a shower. Boom. You really you became one with your body, and then you put your body under some water that's like, hey, I'm up now. Like, you got to wake up now. Like we out here, you know what I mean? Sometimes if it's cold water, you really got to wake yourself up, but get yourself to a state of excitement. Get yourself ready to go through your day. Get yourself to a point where it's like, I remember just ready to just tackle every challenge that I get faced with. I'm ready to accomplish every task that I have written down. I'm ready to literally just do it all, right? And you got to do more to be more, right? If you're not hungry enough, be in a consistent state of growth and hunger, right? If you are not hungry enough, learn how to build up that burning desire in your heart, so that it's one of those where you're not only hungry for it, but now you're starving for it. Now you're like, nah, I need this. I need to wake up and go after this. I need to wake up and tap into my notes or tap into these trainings or hop on the Go Live session or trade a New York or London session or whatever the case is, right? Once you start to build that burning desire in your heart for what it is that you want to go for, and then you have the vehicle right in front of you so that you can actually accomplish those tasks and you know, find your way to get there, you're gonna wake up with a little bit more excitement, and you know, to put into your learning. You're gonna wake up with a little bit more energy to go throughout your day, because you realize that 1% better is still gonna take me closer. Doesn't matter how fast you go, forward is forward, right? Number 7, that was number 6, wake up excited. Number 7, failure is not your enemy. I need you guys to really understand this one, okay? Failure is not your enemy, right? If you're not failing, you're not growing. Simple, point blank, period. Right? You need to go through your failure during your process. If everything was so easy to accomplish, there would be no real value and appreciation for the things that we get done. There will be no real like satisfaction, not to say no real satisfaction, but to the levels of, you know, when you do feel it, knowing that you've put in the blood, sweat, and tears, knowing that you showed up every single day for yourself, knowing that you've actually put in the effort for your growth. Right? It's not going to feel the same if you didn't go through the failures, if you didn't go through the trials and tribulations, if you didn't go through the things that, you know, got you to be where you are today, you know, help build your character to be the person that you are today, to actually accomplish those goals, accomplish that task that you had set out for yourself. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid of failure. You got to use failure as your stepping stones to your success, right? And I like to use, excuse me, guys. My bad. Allergy season. Anyways, you got to use your failure, right, as your stepping stones to your success. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that that meme or that picture of the man holding the failure blocks above his head. When you put when you pile your failure on top of one another, especially when you put it over you, to have it like, oh, I failed. Oh no, I failed again. Oh my God, I failed again. Oh no, it's not working. Now you got all this weight on your head. Now you got all this weight on top of you, and you feel like you're not moving anywhere because you keep failing, you keep failing, you keep failing. But you're not building your blocks properly. You're not stacking your blocks properly, right? You gotta, instead of taking them on top of your head straight up like this and just holding them and carrying all this failure, no, like be more efficient with it, right? You have one failure, okay, put it down in front of you. You step on top of that failure, right? You try it again, you failed again, okay, cool. I'm gonna put it down in front of me on top of the previous failure that I had. But I'm gonna continue to step up because I'm not stacking it like this. I'm not stacking like this, right? Here's the first failure, cool. I'm standing on top of the failure right here, right? I'm gonna try it again though, because failure is not gonna defeat me, right? I'm gonna try it again, cool. Tried it again, it didn't work, all right. So the next failure, I'm gonna stick it right here, right? We're gonna try it again. We're gonna stand on top of this failure now. We're gonna try it again. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, all right, cool. Now we're gonna keep moving it. We're gonna keep stacking though, right? But they're stacked on top of each other. They're stacked in a way where you can continue to walk up your failures, right? So now I'm standing on top of this failure. We're gonna try it again. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, cool. Boom. Now we're here with it, right? Now we're here with it. So we're going to keep trying again. We're going to try again. Cool. Standing on top, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going, right? You got to stack your failures as a staircase, as a stairway to the success that you want, to the goals that you have in mind, to the place that you want to be, right? You want to learn from your failures. You want to learn from your losses. You want to take a lesson out of everything that doesn't go your way so that you can continue to push. You can continue to, learn why this didn't work or why that way didn't work, right? I like to use the analogy of being in a room with 20 doors around you. You're just in the dead center of the room. And there's 20 doors around the room, right? You gotta escape. There is an escape, but you gotta find which door is that escape, right? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna open up a door. You're gonna open up a door. There's a brick wall behind the door. Cool. Close off that door. Now you understand that you can't go through that door because there's a block there. There's a wall behind that door. You can't go through that door. So out of the 20 doors that are around you, you've knocked one off. Now you have 19 doors to check, right? You check another door, boom, there's a fire pit at the bottom of that hole. Okay, great. I'm not going through that door. That's not my escape. You've crossed another door off of your checklist. Now you went through 2 doors out of the 20. You got 18 doors left. You try a third door. Okay, cool. Going through that third door, there's like a glass pit. You can't walk through that because you're barefoot, right? It's a survival mode type stuff. You can't walk through that. You're going to try another door, right? Are you going to not continue to try the doors if you had no other way out, just because you found a couple blocks along the way, just because you hit a wall, you hit a fire pit, and you hit a glass pit? You're just going to not try the other doors knowing that there is an escape? You have 17 other doors to check. You're just not going to do it just because. That's literally how it looks in terms of giving up when it comes to failure. The only difference is, what is the severity of your situation of what you're trying to accomplish? How bad do you want to get it done? How bad do you want to achieve that goal that you're gunning for? Right? And that's going to determine how hard you're going to work, no matter how many times you fail, right? Let's say you get to the 18th door now and you're still not finding your way out. In a situation like that, you know you only got 2 doors. So you're going to feel a little bit more relieved. But in real life situations, you don't know how many doors you have to open up. You don't know where your exit is going to be. You don't understand, what's behind those doors, or, what's behind those pathways. And the only way to find out is if, again, you have to open it up and check for yourself. In this real life situation, there are infinite amount of doors. So it's up to you. Are you going to be the one that's, lets 3 or 4 doors stop you just because you didn't get through those chances when you have how many other chances to still get out? And you're just going to sit there in the middle of the room and cry? No, don't be like that. Honestly and truly, you have other chances to get through it. You have other chances to accomplish what you got to accomplish. You have other chances to escape. So you better make sure you push through and you open up every single door until you can find that escape. And that's literally how you have to look at your failure, right? Don't look at it as, I failed and I'm not going to get, no. Matt Rosa says, I'm never down. I'm either up or I'm getting back up. I'm never down, right? Literally look at your failure like that. You're never really failing. You're just figuring out one other way that doesn't work. All right, on to the next, right? Perception of your situation, all right? Number 8, others growing around you, right? Do you want to grow? Will you do it, and can you do it? What we got? Do you want to grow? Will you do it, and can you do it, right? This is basically going towards, where's your discipline and consistency at? Right? Are you committed to the decision that you've made when you said, I'm gonna join this business, I'm gonna learn how to trade into this market, and I'm gonna do what I have to do to share this knowledge with other people so that they can do the same thing and see the success and right? So whatever it is that you've decided to do, are you committed to that, right? Are you helping promote other people's growth? Are you being a vessel of information or of wisdom to provide value to other people's lives, right? Are people growing around you, and are you not learning from the people that are growing around you? So at the end of the day, especially as we talked about it on the last Mondays with Mel, in terms of the masterminding, right? And even this morning, right? You want to have your mastermind group. You want to have that group of people, where everybody has their traits, or everybody has their strengths, and we literally learn off of each other, right? But if you're that person where everybody's learning from each other and you're not taking to the information, and you're not sitting there and listening and applying the information that's being dished out in the group, are you slowing up somebody else's growth? Are you not taking full advantage of the people that are growing around you? Do you want to grow? How bad do you want to grow, right? Again, will you do it, and can you do it, right? Will you do it is, again, are you going to be disciplined enough to stay down whenever things get rough? And can you do it? Can you fight through the challenges that you're going to face once you start to encounter them, right? Can you fight through the trials and the tribulations that, the higher power puts on you to see if you're really made for this, if you're really set up for this type of muscle, if you're really set up for this type of pain, or I'm going to say pain. I'm going to call it growing pains, because we all go through it. We all go through it, especially when we're stepping into a new phase, especially when we're trying to level up, especially when we're, you know, moving into a different environment. There are going to be growing and separation pains, right? So it's basically like, can you handle it? Are you built for it? If you're not built for it, are you working yourself up to be able to handle it? Are you working yourself up to be built for it, right? Anyways, moving on. Number 9, people desire change, right? People desire change, but like I said, people want to change until it's actually time to change. So then you have, again, that comes with the discipline, the consistency, and the commitment, right? If you've committed yourself to do something, anything in general, right? And especially if it involves some sort of change or some sort of sacrifice or separation or whatever the case is, are you actually going to change when time comes to change? When you're faced with something and it's like, okay, it's either I do this or this for it to really make sense, or for it to really work, or for me to really see some sort of a difference, right? Are you going to do it? Are you going to pick the thing that's going to help you grow? Or are you going to revert back to your older ways? Are you going to revert back to your normal lifestyle, or the things that you always do that's not helping you grow, that's keeping you stagnant, that's holding you back into a lower vibration, right? Some people bounce from one thing to another, right? You basically want to promote for yourself, especially finishing something that you started, right? Instead of when it gets too hard, you know, jumping ship and then going somewhere else where maybe it's easier. The grass is not always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So if you continue to uproot yourself, if you continue to shift around and replant seeds and you know, don't actually sit there and nurture it and water it, what do you expect? Right? Are you being put in the dirt? And again, that ties into what Matt Rosa was saying this morning, right? You're a seed that's going to be put into the earth. You're either going to be buried or you're going to be planted, right? If you're buried expecting not to grow. Or are you going to be planted so that you can continue to develop and grow your roots and continue to create that solid foundation underneath, doing the, you know, behind the scenes, the, you know, the at home, the alone work. Like, this is really where all your roots are going to grow and branch out so that you have a strong foundation for yourself. Right? And if you're doing that, then once you continue to push and you continue to work and you continue to become 1% better and promote that change, you're going to start to see the little green leaf or speck pop out of the middle of the dirt. You're going to start to see that grow. Then you're going to start to see whatever plant it is, the vines of the plant, and then the leaves of the plant. And then let's just say if it's a tree bearing fruit, the fruit is always the last thing to grow on a tree. Excuse me, right? The fruit's always the last thing to grow on a tree. So you can't expect to plant your seed today and reap the fruit tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. You have to put nurture and care and time into it. So instead of bouncing from one thing to another and then always wondering, why doesn't anything ever work for me? Why am I never seeing the results that I want to see? Why am I never accomplishing the goals that I want to accomplish that I set for? Is because when things get too tough, you quit. When things get too hard, you back out. When things get too, you know, too rocky or whatever the case is, you don't want to face the problem. You'd rather just leave and go start fresh somewhere else. Understand that whatever you do and wherever you go, your habits are going to follow you. Your traits are going to follow you. Everything that you do is literally going to be right there with you no matter where you go. So instead of you uplifting yourself and uprooting yourself every time you decide to plant yourself, just grow. Water your growth. Nurture your growth. Put effort and time into your growth. And watch the beautiful flower that blossoms. Watch the juicy fruits that form on the tree, right? Watch the health of the plant as it's growing. You know, when you sometimes you see plants and they're growing, but they're like dead, they're limp. Nah, you're a solid, tough plant. You're standing up strong. No rain, hell, high water is not gonna knock you or toss you over, right? You gotta make sure that you're planting yourself and not burying yourself. That's the thing. Right? And the thing is, with both of those ones, you got to be planted and buried deep enough so that you can get enough of your roots entangled and you know, fed or, you know, grounded so that you don't get knocked over once you get a little bit of problems, trials, and tribulations. Y'all ever see when a tree gets knocked over because it wasn't deeply rooted enough? Y'all ever see a tree die because it was buried too shallow? When you have those like those, you know, those like in the government, they have mini trees and they put them in the hole, but they don't get that growth because they weren't planted deep enough. They weren't cared for enough. They weren't watered enough. It's what's going to happen. If you're not growing, you're dying. Essentially, that's what it is. So you have to ask yourself, am I going to be buried under all of this dirt? Right? Dirt may be a bad thing, but understand that this dirt and the soil has a lot of nutrients. It's going to help you grow. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. It's not going to be clean. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be challenging. But understand that at the end of it, you're going to be beautiful. You're going to have that fruit or that flower pop up once all of the framework is done, once all the foundational work is done. Once you start to really elevate a little bit more, you're going to start to see it, right? So you just have to ask yourself, you know, am I really willing to change? Am I really willing to give up the environments that I'm in right now, what I'm doing right now, who I'm hearing from or talking to right now, so I can put myself in an area, in a space that's going to help promote my growth, so I can jump the next 3, 4, 5 levels in the next couple months or couple years, right? You got to push through that resistance, right? You make a decision, you decide that this is where you want to grow, and then you push. And then you push and you put the work in and you show up for yourself. You continuously over and over and over again, put in that muscle. You get your reps in. When you work out, you don't go from flabs to bodybuilder in a day just because you went to the gym one time. No, it's constant repetition over and over and over again, showing up for yourself, putting in the work, getting those reps in, right? We got Rob on the call. You can tell him. We already know what's up, right? And then you got to master the art of change and growth, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, a lot of people don't like change. As much as people desire change, nobody really likes change when change has to come, right? So you have to master that art of not getting comfortable. Once you start to get comfortable, that's when you know, okay, it's time to change. It's time to grow. It's time to develop, right? You cannot get comfortable and stagnant in a world and in an ecosystem and in an environment that is continuously growing over and over again. At one point where you're comfortable, you're going to end up being uncomfortable 5, 10, 20 years down the line if you do not change, if you stay in that consistent cycle. Because we are in a world that is growing and developing. We are moving into a time where technology is literally at the peak, is still at the forefront of what it's about to become. We haven't started to see the flying cars. We haven't started to see the holograms too much. I mean, they're there. Don't get it twisted. They're there, right? They have it all set up, but it hasn't come to the masses yet. That's what I'm talking about. And to know that there is so much more development to happen with technology that, you know, we are witnessing, and we are in that generation of taking advantage of it, right? You cannot get comfortable. We cannot get stagnant. These next couple decades is going to be a real different era we're about to jump into, just because of the resources that we have around us, just because of the things that we are using to communicate with each other, just because of the things that we have access to, right? If I'm going to use an example of it, all of the civil rights movements when it comes to Black Lives Matter and things like that, and just the going back into the history of slavery, and, you know, how African Americans were treated, coming, you know, as they were picked up as slaves and brought to America, and, you know, were people's property or whatever the case is, right? Everything that's been going on, all the different types and evolutions of modern day slavery at the time of which it's presented, it's still the same thing, just showing up in a different light, right? So really and truly now, we have access to technology and resources. Nothing has really changed. The difference is that it's just being more exposed. It's more accessible for other people to get hold of it, right? Because, I mean, back then, obviously the government or the higher ups are not going to want you to see what's truly happening, not even in just your area, but everywhere, right? They're going to put a muzzle on it. They're going to put a mute on it. They're going to make sure that they're only going to show you what they want you to see, right? But with social media now, and with technology, is like Bob Proctor says, I can pick up the phone and call somebody across the world and we will be connected, right? Just that fast is how this information is being spread, is how, you know, people are being exposed, is how, you know, we're able to actually make bigger noise, come together stronger, because now we have everybody moving towards the same accord. Everybody is getting informed on what's really happening, right? So this is going to, like I said, it's going to be an era that's going to be different, and we just cannot be comfortable. That's basically bottom line what I'm getting at, right? So if you're not changing, if you're not growing, essentially you're dying. So let's make sure that we're not about to cap off in this next decade, okay? And number 10, growth is modeled and expected. So basically you gotta be mindful of the people who you are modeling, right? Who you're looking up to, where you're getting your information from, and make sure that for those people that you are modeling and getting that information from, that you're being submissive to the information that they're giving you. You're being submissive to the gems that they're telling you that helped them to get to where you're at, right? If you are a leader yourself too, you got to make sure that you lead by example. You got to hold yourself up to the highest standard and the best standard. And, going back to what Mel was talking about this morning, those 11 different characteristics, right? The self-confidence and courage, self-control, keen sense of justice in terms of the leaders on my call, or even anywhere in your life, right? You want to make sure that you embody certain characteristics that are going to help you become a better leader, right? I know that I took some gems from this morning, and I know that, like, being fully transparent, that I can work on a lot of things to become better, more involved, more caring, more empathetic, being more reasonable, whatever the case is, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to who are you listening to, who are you modeling, who are you taking after, and what kind of information are you putting out there for the people who are looking up to you? What kind of energy and what actions are you putting out there for people to look up to you? If any of you guys have younger siblings, especially if they're significantly younger, you will notice that they copy a lot of the things that you do. They copy a lot of the ways that you act. It's literally the smallest things. I know sometimes you'll scroll on Instagram, or me at least, I'll scroll on Instagram, and I like workout videos. So I get a lot of those like workout posts, and I'll see like dads doing push-ups and then the little baby doing push-ups beside him. Like when I mean like a 1-year-old type, like a 2-year-old on their all fours trying to do, like, you know what I mean? It's literally what you're feeding them in your environment. What are they looking at? What are they copying? Right? As much as you may think they're not paying attention, they're not listening, they're not following you, they definitely are, right? So we all play our leadership role. Mel mentioned that earlier today. We all play a leadership role in our environment. So you just got to ask yourself, what type of leader are you? And what type of leader would you like to become? You know what I mean? But those are the 10 steps. Where did I lost the note complete? 10 characteristics of a positive growth environment. I'll read them once more again. Number 1 is others are ahead of you. Number 2 is you are continuously challenged. Number 3, you are focused. Your focus is forward. Don't look back. Number 4, the atmosphere is affirming. Number 5, step out of your comfort zone. Number 6, you need to wake up excited. Number 7, failure is not your enemy. Number 8, others growing around you. Number 9, people desire change. And number 10, growth is modeled and expected. All right, family. So drop some 5s in the chat if you guys were down for the call that we had today. We had a lot of gems thrown at y'all today. Let me know how you guys feel about the information. Drop some 5s for me. Let me know where you're at. And I know I ran over time just a little bit. I appreciate you guys for still being here deep from 10:30. You guys have all been on from the beginning to the end. So big shout out to y'all. There we go. Perfect. Okay. But happy Monday, family. It is the beginning of the week. Let's make sure that we are going into this week, heads on our shoulders, heads up high, holding our crowns up high. We're making sure that we are taking the information that we know that, is helping us grow. We learn from it, we apply it into the markets, and we continue to promote our growth as we, walk in this space every single day. It is a new week. Let's go out and get this shmoney. Let's go out and top up our education. And y'all vibrate at a very high frequency today throughout the whole entire week. And I'm going to see y'all on the flip side. All right. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and have a beautiful, beautiful day.